Welcome everyone. Today we're diving into 100 creepy facts that might just send shivers down your spine. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through the eerie and the unsettling. Did you know that human bodies can actually turn into soap in certain soil conditions? And believe it or not, the average person sheds enough skin in a lifetime to fill a coffin. There's also a condition called Cotard's delusion, where people believe they are dead. Pretty creepy, huh? You can still hear your bones creaking after death as they settle. The death rattle sound comes from fluid building up in the lungs near the end of life. And get this, eyeballs can sometimes pop out during violent sneezing. In medieval times, people believed diseases were caused by sin and punished their bodies to cure them. Rats can climb into toilets through sewer pipes, and ticks can live for over a year without feeding. Oh, and the sound of cracking knuckles comes from gas bubbles bursting in your joints. The plague wiped out 60% of Europe's population in the 14th century. Some species of ants actually carry out wars and enslave other ants. Cockroaches can live without their heads for weeks. There's even a fungus that turns ants into zombies and controls their behavior. Dolls were once used to house spirits in some cultures. In ancient Egypt, servants were sometimes buried alive with their masters. Tarantulas can survive for 2 years without food. Your body starts decomposing just minutes after death. There's a museum dedicated to human parasites in Japan, and the human brain can survive for several minutes after being removed from the body. Some worms can survive being cut in half by growing a new head or tail. The Winchester Mystery House was designed to confuse ghosts. People's fingernails and hair appear to grow after death because the skin retracts. A man in the 1800s was buried alive but escaped by eating through his coffin. Some spiders liquefy their prey before eating it. The catacombs under Paris hold the bones of over 6 million people. Certain jellyfish are biologically immortal. Vampires were once a real fear during medieval plagues. The deadliest war in history wasn't World War II, it was the Taiping Rebellion. And forests can communicate using underground fungal networks. Some butterflies drink blood and tears for nutrients. There's a brain-eating amoeba found in warm freshwater. The bite of a Komodo dragon contains bacteria so deadly it can cause blood poisoning. Babies have more bones than adults, but some fuse together as they grow. Sharks can detect a single drop of blood in the ocean from miles away. Your stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve metal. People once thought disease was caused by miasma, or bad air. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on Earth. Certain octopuses will eat their own arms when stressed. The oldest known curse dates back to ancient Mesopotamia. The Colosseum in Rome is believed to be haunted by the ghosts of gladiators. Ancient Romans used powdered mouse brains as toothpaste. There's a grave in Vermont surrounded by a cage to keep vampires in. In the 19th century, people were buried with bells to signal if they woke up underground. Rabies can cause extreme fear of water. There's a species of frog that carries its babies in its stomach. Leeches were used in medicine and still are today. In some parts of the world, corpses are left to be eaten by vultures in sky burials. Some cats are believed to sense death and will visit dying patients in hospitals. The human body can produce enough DNA to stretch from the earth to the sun and back. Certain whales explode after death due to gas buildup inside their bodies. There's a type of spider that pretends to be dead to avoid predators. People have been known to wake up during surgery due to anesthesia failure. Dogs will sometimes eat their deceased owners out of desperation. In 1518, a dancing plague caused people to dance themselves to death. Ghost ships have been found adrift with no sign of their crew. A single teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh billions of tons. Some plants can scream when they're cut, though humans can't hear it. Dead bodies were once used as a fuel source in ancient siege warfare. The longest tapeworm ever found in a human was 82 feet long. Certain bacteria are immune to all antibiotics, making infections untreatable. The oldest mummies are found in Chile, not Egypt. Spiders are never more than 3 feet away from you. The Titanic's wreck site is being eaten away by a type of metal-eating bacteria. Lobotomies were once considered a miracle cure for mental illness. A human can survive without a heartbeat for several minutes, using ECMO machines. In Victorian times, arsenic was used in wallpaper, causing mysterious deaths. Certain fish can switch genders depending on their environment. If you die in space, your body will float indefinitely unless recovered. The oldest joke dates back to 1900 BCE and involves flatulence. Mice can fit through a hole the size of a pencil eraser. There's a cave in Mexico filled with giant crystals that can cut through skin. The sound of a scream activates your brain's fight-or-flight response instantly. In Papua New Guinea, there are still tribes that practice cannibalism. The Mariana Trench is so deep that we know more about the surface of Mars than its floor. In the 1800s, surgeons often operated without anesthesia. Some mushrooms release spores so toxic they can kill with a single breath. The average pillow contains millions of dust mites and their droppings. There's a type of parasite that eats fish eyes and replaces them with itself. Scorpions can survive being frozen for weeks and come back to life. Some flowers only bloom at night to attract bats. Scientists believe the universe could end in a sudden big rip. Human teeth are as strong as shark teeth. The deadliest poison in the world, botulinum toxin, is found in spoiled food. The first known murder weapon was a rock over 430,000 years ago. Certain crabs can amputate their own claws to escape predators. Ancient Chinese warriors used corpses in battle to terrify enemies. Some lakes are so acidic they can dissolve metal. There's a species of jellyfish that can clone itself after injury. Ancient Egyptians used crocodile dung as a form of birth control. The smell of freshly mowed grass is actually the plant's distress signal. Some worms can survive being boiled alive. Forensic scientists can identify a person by the bacteria on their skin. Ancient Romans cleaned their clothes with urine. The disease of laughter killed thousands in 1962 during an outbreak in Tanzania. The Venus flytrap counts to determine when to close its trap. A man once hiccuped for 68 years straight. There's a 1 in 3 chance your tap water contains microscopic plastic. Certain fish can survive out of water for months by breathing through their skin. The oldest evidence of life on Earth is over 3.7 billion years old, and it was likely slime.